The number 589 has once again reappeared in the XRP community, igniting speculation across riddler circles and sparking conversations about whether this recurring symbol has deeper meaning tied to Ripple's long-term strategy. This time, the reference comes directly from Ripple's trademark filing for XRP, originally submitted in 2013 and registered under number 4,458,993,589. The fact that the registration sequence ends with 589 has caught the attention of many who believe that insiders within Ripple use this figure to hint at milestones or upcoming developments. Whether coincidence or not, the resurfacing of 589 reminds us that within the XRP community, small details often feed into the larger narrative of anticipation. But beyond symbolism, what is happening right now is far more important for the future of XRP. NASDAQ has officially signaled its intent to tokenize U.S. equities on blockchain, requesting permission from the SEC to move forward with the tokenization of traditional securities. What makes this even more striking is the evidence suggesting that these experiments are being conducted directly on the XRP Ledger. Leaked material and discussions show Ripple's infrastructure being tested with NASDAQ, highlighting XRPL's capability as a high-performance, regulated-ready blockchain for real-world financial assets. Tokenization is not a futuristic concept anymore. It is happening now. According to the World Economic Forum, the tokenization of real-world assets could reach $867 trillion globally. Compare that with the current figure of only around $26 billion in tokenized assets across all blockchains as of this year. That gap represents a massive growth opportunity, and the networks capable of handling regulated assets at scale stand to benefit the most. XRPL, backed by Ripple's global partnerships, has been repeatedly named by financial councils and experts as one of the strongest contenders to lead this transition. Ripple is not waiting passively for adoption. Just this week, Ripple and SB Holdings in Japan signed a memorandum of understanding to bring Ripple Dollar into the Japanese financial ecosystem. Ripple Dollar is positioned as a stable, regulated tool for international payments. And according to statements from Yoshitaka Kitao, CEO of SBI Holdings, the vision is clear. At least 80% of Japanese banks should be utilizing XRP and Ripple infrastructure by 2025. Japan has always been one of Ripple's strongest markets, and this new commitment shows how integral XRP is becoming to financial operations in Asia. When you consider the broader picture, the pieces start aligning. The US is moving toward clearer regulatory frameworks. Europe is accelerating under MiCA and ISO 0022, and now Asia is doubling down on adoption. At the center of this alignment sits XRP, already proven as one of the fastest and most cost-efficient settlement assets available. With Ripple Dollar entering Japan and NASDAQ exploring XRPL for tokenization, XRP's infrastructure is extending across both retail and institutional domains. Returning to the 589 discussion, while some dismiss it as superstition or numerology, others argue it is not accidental that these figures continue to appear in Ripple-related contexts. If insiders have occasionally hinted at future events through symbolic references, then 589 remains a marker of anticipation. Even if purely coincidental, its reappearance at a time when real adoption news is breaking adds fuel to the narrative. The reality, however, is that XRP's progress does not rely on speculation. The fundamentals are building steadily. From regulatory recognition to infrastructure partnerships, XRP Ledger is being positioned as a primary layer for tokenization. NASDAQ's move toward blockchain equity trading would have been unthinkable just a few years ago, but now it is being openly discussed, with XRP Ledger potentially serving as the testing ground. When you combine this with Ripple's expansion into stablecoins, central bank digital currency pilots, and real-world payment corridors, the trajectory becomes undeniable. XRP is currently trading in the $2.80 to $2.90 range, consolidating after recent volatility, While Bitcoin has surged past $111,000 and Ethereum continues to hold around $4,300. But price action alone is not the story. The bigger narrative is about positioning for the next wave of financial evolution. Real-world assets worth hundreds of trillions are preparing to move on a blockchain rails. And Ripple is making sure XRPL is at the front of that wave. It is worth remembering that speculation, riddlers, and recurring numbers have always been part of XRP's culture. Yet alongside the riddles, there are tangible facts. Regulatory clarity is advancing, institutional adoption is growing, and major financial players are now openly testing XRPL. If 589 symbolizes anything, it may well represent the point where speculation and reality converge. The combination of NASDAQ's tokenization plans, Ripple Dollar's expansion in Japan, and the World Economic Forum's projection for RWA tokenization paints a clear picture. XRP Ledger is not just another blockchain. It is being recognized as critical infrastructure for the next era of finance. Whether through riddles or hard data, the message is the same. XRP's time is coming, and the global financial system is preparing for its role.